Rise and shine, my sinners. When Father Evil starts his day, he gets a little deadly. Deadly Grounds coffee has the richest, smoothest flavor you'll find anywhere. It's sinfully delicious. Once you go deadly, you never go back. Order yours at getdeadly.com. Coffee's so good, it's scary.
Welcome to the Epic Tales from the Sewers podcast. Grab yourself a slice, strap into the party wagon, and hang on tight. Give it up for your hosts, the Cowabunga Combo, Justin and Eric.
And welcome back to Epic Tales from the Sewers, a very special episode. With me, as always, is my co-host with the most, Mr. Eric Will.
How we doing today there, Justin?
We're good. We're good. You know, maybe a little bit too much pizza. You're a little slow on the uptake, but that's okay. We'll figure that out. We've got some guests with us today. First, we'll start with our returning co-host / guest. Joining us today, the Channel 6 chick herself, Miss Lydie's back.
Hello, thank you so much for having me. It's such a pleasure.
And joining us, we have repeat guests here. We've got Mr. Joey from Ninja Toitles.
What up, what up, what up?
I build you up. I mean, you know, it's like you're already kind of the greatest. So, you know.
I'll get out of here, dude. I appreciate it, brother.
And I was just thinking, I'm like, for our next guest, is this technically your first time on the show? Because I've been on your show, and Eric's been on your show. Is this your first guest?
Yes, I believe so.
Well, how about that? Mr. Shellanomics himself, King Makitas, Mike from Shellanomics.
How's it going, guys? Thanks for having me.
I'm glad that you could be here, everybody. Really excited. We're here to talk about the 35th anniversary of the Ninja Turtles movie. That is big deal.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's see. I'll give everybody just kind of a synopsis on this. For all the youngsters that listen to this podcast, we want to tell you a little bit about this movie. If you haven't seen it, go talk to your parents, about it. But Ninja Turtles is a 1990 superhero film based on the comic book characters created by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. It's the first film adaptation of the characters and was directed by Steve Barron and written by Todd Langen and Bobby Herbeck, with the story by Bobby Herbeck. It stars Judith Hogue as April O'Neil, Elias Koteas, hopefully I said that correctly, as Casey Jones, with the voice of Brian Tochi, Josh Pius, Corey Feldman, and Robbie Rist. So it's 35 years old and just recently released to the theaters again. But before we go into all that, what would be the number one thing that everybody remembers from the VHS?
The Pizza Hut commercial. For me, it's the
Are we good with the commercial?
It's the
We
Pizza
have
Hut.
to.
Yes, yes.
Yep.
It's got Goldberg in it, dude.
That shows you right there. We're all family, all five of us. Out in our
Off
minds.
in the distance, the game's dragging on. There's strikes on the batter, some runners are on.
Oh my
But
god.
suddenly everyone's
the
looking
sound of
at
that
me.
bat.
My mind has been wondering.
We gotta find
what
that kid,
could it
dude.
be? They point to the sky and I look up above, and a baseball falls into my glove. I play right field. It's important you know. You gotta know how to catch. You gotta know how to throw. That's why I play in right field, way out where the dandelions grow.
As a proud sponsor
That was
of
just
League
a little
Baseball,
fella.
Pizza Hut welcomes all the kids who make it
The
great.
hero of the game.
I wonder how old that kid is now. Like, do they have a after picture? to go with the movie.
Oh, I don't know.
35.
That to me is one of the iconic defining things about Ninja Turtles fans. And I have started like rounds of singing this song among turtle people, and everybody knows the words. And most people are not like, oh, I didn't know that was a Peter, Paul, and Mary song. I'm like, yeah, it's just one verse of the song. So, but yeah,
And not one Pizza Hut box in the whole movie.
yeah. It's I think they had Domino's in it instead, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
But I think Pizza Hut sponsored the whole movie still, but they had Domino's sneak in there, and then I don't know what happened, but
isn't it crazy? Because like when I saw it on the big screen, the first thing I noticed is where's the friggin' Pizza Hut commercial?
That's exactly what I was wondering too. I was like, I was really hoping for it too. Like before I got in there, I was like, are they going to play it? Are they going to play it? And I was just so disappointed. I was like, come on now.
It's okay because like it's really fun. And did everybody get a chance to see it on the big screen?
Yes.
Well, not recently when I was a kid, yes, because we don't
when
have
you saw it when you were a kid.
Hours away. Yeah.
I never did.
Never. Oh, wow. You never saw it when you were a kid?
Nope, I didn't. When I seen it, I never seen it. I never seen any of the Turtle movies in theater.
Wow.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I was in Maryland. I was in the boonies. There wasn't a whole lot around. So, but I had the VHSs.
Well, I want to give a special shout out to two of our friends. One's a former guest, Isaac Elliott Fisher, who shows up for the Turtle Power documentary right in the very beginning of it. And the other one is to Rob Miller, who actually sent us some tickets for Eric and his son to go. So that was pretty exciting.
From Fathom? Yeah, dude. That was awesome.
Yeah. Appreciate them. Yeah. Appreciate them too.
I mean, yeah. This movie, just so you know, the 2025 re-release of Ninja Turtles, the 1990 action film, grossed over $3.3 million domestically in its first week, and it was one of the most successful events that Fathom has done. So they're actually going to bring back Ninja Turtles 2: Secret of the Ooze next year, which I'm super excited by. So
same.
You know, I know you all are too, but we don't have a Pizza Hut commercial for that one.
What was that? What was that? What was that at? It was some weird movie. Yes, that's right. Dude, with Hulk Hogan.
They changed the title of it, and that was the thing. So it's like it came out, but like you could never find that movie. It's like, oh, it's my family. They're all crazy. But yeah, I don't know. I've looked for it. I think it exists, but you know, do you love your dad? Damn straight. You know? That's great. So let me ask you this. We'll start and go around. You guys had kind of alluded to this. Eric, we'll start with you. When was the first time you saw the Ninja Turtles movie, the 1991?
Oh, it was. I want to say I was probably about 6 or 7 at that time, and I remember watching it whenever I was living in Maryland, and we were living with my mom's boyfriend's mom or something like that. I can't remember. But I remember.
This would have been on VHS tape then.
Yeah, it was on VHS, without a doubt. And, of course, when I moved back to West Virginia, I watched the crap out of it. You know, like, I mean, that was life for me. Ever since
did you have the box that had the turtles that were, like, puffed up and embossed on it? Or did you have the flat? You did? Yep.
I had the embossed. I think I still have one. I don't know. It's all packed away. I think I actually still have all 4 of the original ones that I had whenever I was a kid. My grandma kept a hold of them.
What was the 4th? The Vanilla Ice video?
No, because you have 1, 2, and 3, and then you had the behind the scenes one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, behind the scenes too. Okay, so technically there's 5 then, right?
No, there's 4. Because if
well,
you got
I was
behind
counting out, you know, the shells coming out of their shells.
Oh, that. No, that. I was talking about like the original movies, because they had the behind the scenes in between from 2 and 3, but it was actually for 2.
I've never seen that one. Huh?
What? It's on YouTube if you want to watch it. It's
good. I'll definitely check that out then.
Oh, it's good. You get to see Ken Scott.
Oh, okay. Fantastic. I just saw him last month. How about you, Mike? When was the first time you saw the film?
So for me, I did get to see it in theaters. To set the stage, I've been a Turtle fan my whole life, and we were really hyped to see this movie. So my dad was going to take my brother and my cousin with us to a Saturday matinee. And it's similar to what Mark Freeman says in the documentaries, where the lines were so crowded, we couldn't even get a ticket. I mean, so
Wow.
for our young audience here, we couldn't buy tickets online at the time. We couldn't get our tickets in advance. If we didn't go the day of and sit there, we weren't going. So for us, we couldn't go that day. But what was cool, the reason I bring this up though, Justin, is my dad gave us a nice parting gift. It's like, sorry guys, I'm not gonna be able to get you in, but Burger King's a block away. We'll go get you those Burger King Kids Club tapes and a chocolate shake. So we got April Foolish on VHS. So it was a nice, it was a little, not too bad. I'm still getting my turtle fix today. And then eventually my godmother took me the following weekend. And it's really hard to remember stuff, when you're 5, 6 years old. But I do remember the Splinter part with the pizza on his head and just a lot of yelling from Raphael.
Yeah, that's kind of par for the course for Raphael in the movie, I think. So, except for that scene, he's yelling on the rooftop of the barn where it's clearly Michelangelo, though. So.
Yeah, which I didn't know until later. Yeah, but it's like he looks a little shorter up there.
His head's a different shape too. So. All right, Joey, how about you? When was your first experience seeing this?
Dude, first time was in the theater, 1990. I'm born in 83, so I think I just turned 6, dude, like a couple months prior. I remember, so this is the first movie ever as a kid I saw 3 times in theater. And the main reason I went a second time is we were late the first time, and we got there, and we missed a huge chunk already, dude. As soon as I got there, it was Shredder throwing the dagger at the TV. And then, but dude, I didn't even care. Like, I was so pissed that we were late, but as soon as I saw that, I remember being like speechless, being like, I don't even care, dude. Like, let's go. Like, I remember sitting down. I don't think I ever complained about being late, but then I convinced my dad to take me again, I think a couple weeks later, because we missed the beginning. But yeah, I
want to think of you at 6 also with that beard that you have.
Oh, dude, same. Like, yeah,
oh man,
totally. But yeah, it was a great experience, man. Like, first time probably I really enjoyed like being in a movie theater as a kid, I think.
Wow. All right, Lydie, what was your first time seeing this?
Oh, I was lucky. I got to see it in 1990, and I feel very old because I was 9 years old, and I vividly remember it was a cooler kid than I was. So Julia Schoneker's birthday party, we got to go. So I still remember her name. And her parents got us pizza, and we were going to be rebels. We were like, you ordered those with anchovies.
Oh!
So I remember sitting there, and I remember being so excited. Like, I wanted to clap because when it opened and everything, and April's wearing the yellow jacket. So I was like, it's not a jumpsuit, but I know who it is. Oh my gosh. This is the coolest birthday party ever. Yeah. So I remember it very, very vividly. Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, I like you. I think I was around 9, and it was 3rd grade. I went with 2 friends, and I don't know why. Like it felt like we went during the day or something like that, but it was a school day. I'm like, I don't know what the hell's going on here. Maybe it was like a professional day or something. But I just remember coming out of that theater, and I'm like, you could not stop us from doing martial arts at that point. It was like, yeah, we're gonna like. And we did. We just kicked each other like the whole time. So it was pretty fun. And let's see. So with that, we've all got a chance to see it. At that point, we all felt like that feeling that you feel after you come out and you're buzzing and all that. Interesting thing for me seeing it this time is there wasn't a ton of people in the movie theater, but there was a family of, clearly like a middle-aged dad and his 2 young sons. And they're there. And they're not dressed up like the ones that I saw with Mutant Mayhem, but they just got up after everything was done and they're Cowabunga! Did anybody have an experience where there were some young kids there seeing it?
For me, no. Just like you guys, it was a little. I'm glad the movie still made good money, but I was shocked. Yeah, compared to when we saw us as kids, where you couldn't get a seat. They made like 5 or 10 of us at an early matinee on. Because what I liked about this though was the support. Remember, this was only supposed to be 2 days. They made it go all week, so I waited, and it was worth the wait because I actually got to go on Friday. So I saw it. The first showing that they had was at I believe it was 1:00 a couple Fridays ago, and nobody else was there except for me, my buddy, and I think 2 other adults. But still had a great time. And we actually ordered pizza too. I'm like, this is awesome. I get to order a pizza
Oh.
watching the Turtle movie. It was at an AMC. They had pizza. So I'm like, I don't care how good the pizza tastes. I just get to say I had pizza at a Turtle movie. Doesn't get any better.
Yeah, I got to bring my 9-year-old daughter, which was awesome. Because again, my dad taking me when I was 6. And my daughter watched this movie. She watched the 1990 movie probably a year ago. But what's crazy is I introduced Secret of the Ooze to her when she was littler. Because I was like, you know what? I should probably show her that before the first one. That's just my view on it. And 20 minutes in the Ooze, she was like kind of bored with it. And I was like super shocked. But when I played the 1994, she was like hooked in. And I thought she was like doing it for me, and she wasn't like at all.
Oh, yeah.
So knowing that I got to take her to the theater and see her watch it like I did when I was 6, it was weird, but it was really cool.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah. Eric, how about you? Because I know you got to take your boy.
Yeah. So I mean, I ended up taking my boy. I also took my wife, and I took one of my buddies with me. And I mean, there was quite a few. There was more adults than there was, anything. There was a couple kids there that I seen that they were watching. Of course, family brought them. Like my son, I'm sitting there, and like I'm sitting there watching my son, and he's sitting there. I mean, he's quoting off the movie. I mean, he's just sitting there just saying that he's like 122 and an eighth. Where's 120? And it's just sitting there and just like, oh my gosh. And my buddy, and I'm sitting there quoting it too, and my buddy's sitting there and he's like, you act like you've seen this movie a couple hundred times. But
that's probably why there was no one in the theater with everybody else, because we were just up there going,
yeah.
All these freaks.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's nuts. And on this, let's talk about some iconic actors and all of that, because this was a movie where some of us last year specifically got a chance to meet April O'Neil. We got to hang out with Leonardo Brian Toshi and with Ken Scott, Raphael.
Mm-hmm.
What about experiences with meeting these folks? Lydie, have you had a chance to meet any of the turtle folk yet?
No, I would absolutely sell a kidney if it was worth it to anybody.
Who's your
Judith Hogue?
Who's the one you have to meet then?
Judith Hogue. I'd love
Judith
to meet
Hogue. Okay.
so much. Yeah.
I happen to be there when both Eric and Joey met her. So.
And how was that?
I don't know, Eric. How was it?
Which time? Well, the first time that
maybe the time she stroked your beard.
No. I didn't. Wait a minute. I did have a beard. I did have my goatee then. No, the first time that I met her, that we met her, and she was like, "Oh, a fellow ginger, eh?" And I'm just like, "Okay, this is how we starting this off." and then when we were down in the lobby, and like there was a lot of the actors that were down there. Kevin was down there, and all this other stuff. Me and him, we just rolled down there. I look at Judith, and Judith looks at me, and I'm like, and she just comes like this and just comes run to me and gives me a big old hug.
Guys,
So
I lost him. I lost Eric to Judith Hogue because Eric was over. So I go off to the bar, right? And Eric is hanging out with Kevin Eastman and Judith Hogue, and she's not letting him go, whatever. And just for perspective, John Rhys Davies was hanging out in the corner. Nobody looked at him. Nobody cared. Like that's perspective. This was granted after everybody left, Joey, right? So we're hanging out, and I'm just hanging out at the bar over here, and I'll have more to my story in a little bit. But yeah, I completely lost Eric to April O'Neil.
Yeah.
How many people get to say that? That's amazing.
Yeah, I want to tell you, like, meeting, talking to Judith and everything, like this community, the way she talked about it, she's just like, it's like no other, and she absolutely loves it and embraces it, and she is such a very, very sweet and nice person, and just down to earth. Really, really, really is.
I love that she seems to have that spunkiness that she brings to April as part of her, right?
Oh yeah, she is that person. She played herself.
What was your take on her, Joey?
Dude, she was a sweetheart, man. Like I've talked to her before that through Instagram. which I was shocked that she would even like respond to like DMs and stuff. And I sent her like a Ninja Toitles care package a couple years back, and she was really appreciative of it. But yeah, getting to meet her was awesome, especially since I brought, so the only original, like the oldest Ninja Turtle thing that I have that is, again, from my childhood is my backpack from, where is it? From 1991. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to bring this with, and I'm going to have as many people as possible sign the whole bag. And Judith Hogue was the first one that signed it for me. She's like, where should I sign? Like, is this, I was like, wherever you want. Like, you were the first one. And she was like, I think a lot of the artists appreciated it, because like you see a lot of folks, I think, that go there, they get a ton of stuff signed, and then they're trying to sell it, unfortunately. Instead of, I was like, dude, this gross backpack with my backwards J for Joseph, I'm like, this was my bag, dude, from like 1991 or 1992, I think, is when I got that bag. So she was all about it. And yeah, it was just, I think I was like third or fourth in line when she opened that one day. And yeah, she was awesome.
That's so cool. I remember that you were there in line because we walked by and our buddy Rob Denner was there getting his picture with her wearing the podcast logo T-shirt that I gave him, and I'm like, this is the greatest thing ever. Yeah, I'm like, it's just never gonna hear the end of that.
That's awesome.
How about you, Mike? Have you had a chance to meet Judith yet?
Judith, no, but I did get to meet Ken Scott, Kevin Clash, and Mikkel and Sisti at Comic-Con, and all. Just like the original voice actors from the cartoon first. I don't know what it is about this entire franchise, guys, but you all, I'm sure, agree. Anybody you meet from, whether it's a voice actor, a comic artist, they're all just good, wholesome people. You know,
Yeah.
I never feel rushed when I talk to any of them when I go in line. They're just so open and warm and friendly. And it was a great experience for talking to all of them, especially asking Ken Scott some questions in his book. You guys have all read his book, right?
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Oh, it is so good just to learn more about the movie and just those certain spots and how he got called up, and even just about the fight scenes. It's an incredible read for anybody who's not. I highly encourage you to check it out.
Yeah, it's was it Teenage Ninja to Mutant Turtle?
Yep.
Yeah. Fellow Chucker, eh?
I was just talking to my daughter about that. So, well, let's move on to Ken Scott, because I just saw him at Terrificon recently. So, and always comes up, shakes my hand, pats me on the back. How you doing, buddy? And all that, recognized me when I walk up. He's like, hey, I know you. And I'm like, I know you. It's really fun. And we got to hang out with him just a little bit at Granite as well. And this is my part of the story. I had already lost Eric. He's gone. He's talking to, Kevin Eastman, Tom Waltz, and Judith Hogue, whatever, Mr. Bigwig over there. So I get to meet Mr. Ken Scott, and I say, hey, Ken, can I buy you a drink? And it's him, and it's Brian Toshi. Brian Toshi, the voice of Leonardo, right? So he's hanging out, and, we're talking, and I'm like, guys, have you ever had a chance to meet any of these Ninja Turtles artists? They're like, you know what? We're always on the other side of the con. We never get to. I'd love to. So I say, oh, okay, cool. Hey, how about this? Ben, come here. I pull over Ben Bishop and I go, hey, Ben, this is Brian Toshi, the voice of Leonardo. Why don't you tell him who your favorite Ninja Turtle is? Leonardo. So this goes on, and I'm like pulling in people because, like, obviously we've had people guest on the show and all that. I'm like, Aaron Bartling, get over here. I'm like, Hugh Rookwood, get over here. And they're all looking up because Hugh is like really tall. So
Oh my gosh.
And then I have Mateus Santaluco come over, right? So and Mateus is the amazing artist that did like the history of the Foot Clan. He's the Shredder guy. You look at him and he's like
insane, dude.
and he's
insane.
intense.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just like, oh my God, I would not mess with that guy, right? He turned into a 5-year-old, guys. I said,
Yeah, he
Mateus,
did.
come on over. This is Ken Scott. He's the voice of he played Raphael. Tell him who your favorite turtle is, because I knew. So, and Raphael. And he's tongue-tied. He can't say anything. So I'm patting him on the back, and I'm like, tell him you did martial arts. Oh, yeah, I did It was amazing to see these guys turn into 5-year-olds in front of them. It was just so crazy. Oh, man. I don't know. Like, Ken is a great one for you to bring up. I mean, he's been on the show. He's been on your show. He wrote a book. He's a bassist. He lives by the code of Bushido. He's a real interesting character.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, he takes good care of himself too. He does not look his age at all.
No.
Yeah. He looks my age and then some. So, you know, I don't know. I did want to tell you guys a little story that I don't think I've told Eric this yet, but I was coming home from Terrificon, right? And this will be interesting because it's going to segue into two other actors from the movie. So I'm coming home on Monday, you know, con finishes up on Sunday and all that, and I'm walking through the airport in Connecticut. And I'm like, okay, cool, you know, bought myself a Hartford Whalers hat, you know, Hartford the whale, you know, so had to get that. And I go and I sit down and I don't think much of it. I pull out a book and I start reading. And somebody comes over next to me and goes, "Excuse me, is there someone sitting here?" I'm like, "No, go ahead." It's Brian Toshi that sits down next to me, the voice of Leonardo and all that. And the only thing I can think of is he must somehow recognize me from the time we spent together last year. So he just sat down because he's like, "Oh, this person's non-threatening or something." We talked for 25 minutes waiting for his plane, guys. Absolutely just like random, like talking to him about like how like Ricardo Montalban was like his like second father and all that. Just like all this stuff. And I'm like, what the hell just happened? You know?
Mhm.
But it's like you're saying, salt of the earth people, amazing, not pretentious at all. You know, like
Yeah.
that was a crazy experience. And I'm like, we're just waiting for a plane. And you think that would be it, right? He gets up, he goes off to his plane, going off to his show in North Carolina. That's awesome. That was cool. Wow, that was great. I got an awesome story to tell. I can't wait. Then I say, okay, it's time for everybody to get on their flight to Chicago. Calling Group 1. Okay, Group 2, all the way through Group 7. Who gets up on Group 7, guys? Ernie Reyes Jr. gets up, and he's on my plane. So he gets on. I'm in Group 9, right? So I'm like, all right, whatever. You know, it's a single rider. They literally sat me the last seat on the plane next to the restroom and all that. So I'm getting on the plane and I'm like, where's Ernie? Where's Ernie? Where's Ernie? Because I'm thinking to myself, there's a non-zero chance that I could literally be sitting next to Ernie Reyes Jr. on my flight. So I'm going. And I'm like, I see him and I see the empty seat. And I see someone get in the seat. And I was like, damn it. Okay. I sat 2 seats behind him on the plane, guys. It was crazy. And we had like a not great flight and all that. But at the end, everybody's getting up. And I look and I go, "Since I got you here, Ernie, you know, what was it like to beat up The Rock?" And he goes, "Felt pretty damn good." So but I mean, that's Donatello from the movie too. So he's the actor inside the suit. You know, this guy is like, you know, it's just like an iconic person and another really cool person. So. But yeah, so I'll get off of Ken and I'll get off of Ernie and all that. That was just my big story I wanted to tell you. Now I've got 4 people. I've got 4 Turtles fans here, and I think if my math is correct, I've got 2 Mikeys and 2 Raph fans, right?
Yep.
All right, because I wasn't sure if Joey had switched to a Donatello fan yet. No.
Oh yeah.
He's number 2. He's number 2.
Okay. I have a feeling that you're close. So
not that close.
No, not okay. Not that close. All right. So, what about let's start with Mike and Lydie here. What about favorite Mikey moments from the first movie?
Oh man, where do you start? Well, my name being Mikey is when April calls him Mikey and he gets all goo goo gaga over it. I still like that one. That's a
he
top
called
one.
me Mikey.
Yep. And the other they just did such good character development on everybody here. Since I don't think anybody's favorite is Don, I do want to just one little part I always bring up is the spot where Raphael loses a sigh and Donnie tries to comfort him and Raph says back off and then Donnie shoves him back. That's the Donatello I like a lot. That Donatello doesn't take smack from anybody. I really enjoyed that spot. And the other spot with Mikey is just when he's doing commentating, a little to the right, a little to the left, one more time, and then he gets the assist from April. So those are my top 2.
Nice.
I'm trying to think about what my favorite is. I think when they go back to April's after Splinter is gone, it's kind of a weird thing, but he just looks the most sad.
Oh yeah.
And I just want to hug him so bad. Like all of them are really, distraught and upset, but it comes clear through Mikey. And it always makes me wonder, is he supposed to be the youngest in this movie? I don't know, but I feel like
I would think so. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just when they're introduced with their names, he's second, and I'm like, oh, does it mean he's second? I don't know. But yeah, I think that comes across that he's so vulnerable and he might joke around a lot, but he's got that huge heart.
That's a good perspective. I mean, I think of him as kind of like the comic relief in the film, and obviously the scene where he does Rocky. And I saw this before I saw Rocky, so I'm always looking for the Adria, like always looking for that stuff.
Yeah, but even with that, he doesn't realize April's joking when she says, "Oh, you must be Splinter's favorite," and they all kind of it shows on him. So I don't know. I think he's a sweetheart.
Yeah, I see that. I could definitely see that. Well, let me ask you too. So, Joey and Eric, is it true all the good ones end in O?
Dude, mine's Mikey, dude. Did you think mine was Raph?
I thought yours was Raph too. Yeah.
No, dude, it's Mikey, dude.
All right, so let me add you on that. What's your Mikey moment of the movie?
Well, I went into the movie biased because Mikey sold me in the cartoon, right? Like that was just like my dude. He was always just like such a like. He just always had fun, but would still kick butt kind of thing. And like he again making jokes and just like got along with everyone. And I was like, he was always my favorite. So I went in super biased, but I think the scene that I remember like feeling proud in like the theater, almost like, dude, that's my favorite turtle. Like almost like it's like that's my son. You know what I mean? Like I was like, that's my kid.
Man, I know that feeling.
It was when the foot crashed through the ceiling, dude, and they do the whole nunchuck off, dude. I remember because like as a kid, dude, if you found anything that slightly resembled nunchucks, dude, it could be, two sticks that are, tied together, whatever. You were trying to do the moves and hurting yourself. And like, yeah, I just remember that scene being like, holy shit, holy whatever, it's about to go down, dude. Like I was stoked.
Yeah, that's such an iconic scene. And I think that there's a lot to be said about like the character development, like Mike was saying in this, for a lot of these characters. I think that each particular Ninja Turtles movie has a character that it focuses on the most. I would say for this one, Mikey is second, and Eric, you might agree that Raph is probably the most in this movie.
Yeah,
this is
absolutely.
Raph's movie.
Yeah, this is definitely Raph's movie. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, so to me, the moment where Raphael wakes up out of the tub.
Oh,
hey,
what's the guy got to do?
Yeah, and to me, like that right there.
I have said that a few times.
Yeah.
Get some food around here.
Yeah, and him and Leo have that moment, and like to me it's that one's iconic. But my most iconic scene is the Spirit of Splinter.
Oh, okay. Dude, I got chills when you said that. Oh my god.
Yeah. I actually have a wood burning wood barrel of that. Like, I don't know. Have I ever showed you that?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay.
So let's dissect this for a second. What do you like about the scene specifically? Oh yeah, you've got it right there.
Yep.
Okay, you got the neck version.
Yeah, with the Ghost Splinter. Yeah, this is awesome.
Oh wow.
So when they're all realizing that Splinter is still alive, and they're all like, when Splinter's, I'm getting cold chills now just thinking of it.
Yeah,
chilly.
It's pretty close to like an emotional climax, like in terms of that, you're like, oh my god.
It really it is. It absolutely is, and it's just like them actually, they don't think they know that Splinter is alive. And to know that, and at that moment, that was the turning point that they're going to go and ninja kick some butt. They were going to go back, and they were going to go get Splinter back. And to me, that really, really brought them together.
Yeah.
I mean, they were already together, but it really like solidified them even more, and they were all on the same. They're all on the same track together. They were ready to go. They were going to go in there, kick Shredder's butt and the foot and all that, and get Splinter back. To me, that was just like, that's like to me, that's the biggest moment in that movie. Is
the big
that moment right there? Yeah.
You should watch it again. Like, if you ever get a chance to just go back and just look at Raphael and Leo during that moment afterwards, after everything. It's like it's the opposite of what Lydie was talking about with sad Michelangelo. It's happy Michelangelo and like happy Donatello on the other side, but really like that's when you see the connection between like Leo and Raph, like right there. And you will never see there's only one other scene with Raph smiling in it when April thanks him. But when you see it and it's like, oh wow, this is that moment that they're like, yeah, these guys are closer. They don't just fight; they love each other.
Well,
It's
I
pretty crazy.
I think when they realize Splinter has been taken, there is a moment where Leo and Raph divide because Raph is mad. If you remember, he's like, "Well, what are we going to? We're just going to sit around."
Mm-hmm.
So it's nice to see them come back together that way.
Yeah, absolutely. And since nobody asked me and Leo's my favorite, I'll just tell you, my favorite. I like that rooftop fight with Leo where he's like calling everybody out and all that, and he says you lie. He's going at him, and the other one I love is a gag where he's just like he's swiping at the foot, and then he gets out of the way. He's swiping at him, he gets out of the way, and then he pretends to swipe, and he gets out of the way, and he goes, "Gotcha!" Like those are my two favorite parts with Leo. I'm like, it's just, and they could not be more different, And I'd like to point out, like, Leo is the one that actually gets a tag on Shredder. Like, he cuts him with the blade and all that. And that's what finally, all right, I'm done playing around with you guys. I could take you out at any time. This is what I'm going to do. It's like, oh, man. It's such a menacing Shredder, like, it is crazy. I did get a chance to meet actor James Saito at Terrificon. He was there, and we had met Francois Chow before. I'll tell you, Francois is taller. I was surprised because Francois was a lot taller than James. So, and Francois, I think you got a chance to meet him, Joey, right?
I didn't meet. I went to the they did the
Granite?
viewing, the 1990 viewing at Granite, where they played the movie that first. I think the second night they played it at a local theater, and they all jumped on stage and just talked about the movie for like 30 minutes before they played it, which was cool. And they served pizza to everybody. Which was super dope. So, but I didn't get to meet him actually at GraniteCon though.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, maybe next time. So, next year when we all go. So, not this year, but next year.
I was like, you know what? I don't mind that I'm not going. And then I'm getting FOMO before it even happens, dude. I was like, damn, dude, I had such a great time last year. Like, maybe I should have went, but it's all good.
It's going to be different, and that's like we need to try to find a way to unite everybody to get there. So all of our friends from the Great North and all of our friends from Australia and so on and so forth, and our friends from Greece. So one of the artists was there from Greece, and they're sitting down, and he just walks in as we're having breakfast, and I'm like, hey, come on over. I ended up buying him breakfast. I'm like, oh. I had no idea that he had like drawn like Mighty Mutanimals comics and stuff like that. I was like, it's great. I'm like, hey, Jake, it's Chinatown. It's like it didn't matter.
That's awesome.
It's just it's such a weird thing, But let's talk about Shredder, because we were talking about like Francois from the second movie and all that. But this is all about the 35th anniversary of the first one. James Saito, exciting, scary. What do you guys think about this Shredder?
Well, if anybody wants to go ahead.
Go
right ahead.
Just because I was watching this last night with my soon-to-be 9-year-old son, right? And he put everything down when Shredder appeared because it is scary. It is like, as an adult, and I know what happens, it's menacing. And I was just thinking, here we get this terrifying Shredder where everybody in the room is stopped to watch him versus when we get in the second movie with the dandelion and the too big hat that looks a bit like, it's from Spaceballs. What a contrast.
That is fair, because I do think that the helmet in the first one is superior. Like, I get it.
Well, I know goofy giant dandelion. There's nothing cute or soft about this Shredder. Like, all the angles are there. Like, this is razor sharp. And I feel like that scene with the kids that they've recruited, it's almost like Pinocchio. It's they're doing all these things, and it's so menacing. Like, the minute he's in the room, you get that this isn't just like petty theft. This is dangerous. This is scary. This is serious stuff.
Yeah, my kids were saying, they're like, you know what? It's funny. I never realized that they were all such bad fighters because they're just kids, you know. And I was thinking that it made sense because when they're in April's apartment, you know, they're not taking it seriously, right? Like Mikey and Donatello are not taking it seriously. Donnie, Wheel of Fortune, dude, you know, because these guys are such bad fighters. And then you have like Tatsu nearly killing one of them, you know, Kensho, you know, like at the end there. But it's like, I mean, it's so funny how like deadly the Shredder is in comparison to like the foot soldiers who are like they suck, you know. That's crazy.
Well-
What are your guys' thoughts on the Shredder? What do you think?
I enjoyed him. Again, growing up with the original cartoon, and it seems like Shredder gets watered down as the seasons progress from season 1 to season 2 to season 3. So to see a threat, and I'll be honest, I'm in that movie theater watching this anniversary special, and when that music hits and you see Donatello going for that sweep, I'm still thinking he's going to win. There's the 8-year-old in me is like, come on, can he get there? But for us Mikey fans, I know we can't see it, but you know, I know Leo got the slash, but Mikey did fight the longest. You hear him grunting the longest in that movie, and any Mikey fan will defend that till the end of time.
I do not disagree that he fought the longest and all that. I don't. And I mean, I think Raph probably should have been able to do more of those size, but that's just how good that Shredder was.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think? Any thoughts on the Shredder here?
Yeah, I mean, I again grew up on the cartoon like Shellanomics, right? Like grew up on the cartoon and they started just making him super goofy. So I didn't know what to expect. But I think about as a kid, like here I am 6 years old and they introduced the warehouse, right? And they introduced the Foot Clan, these kids. And I'm intimidated already by these kids because I'm 6. And I'm like, man, these kids are tough, dude. Like they're smoking cigarettes, playing poker, skateboarding. Yeah, dude. But then I'm already intimidated by these kids. And then when the Shredder comes up, I'm like, what is this, dude? Like I was already like, you know, on edge a little bit, just seeing the whole layout and how nuts it was. But seeing Shredder and just, yeah, like him, like he was, I feel like he's in the movie like just enough, dude. Like, yeah,
that's true.
You know what I mean? And it always bummed me out that for some weird reason that, like, you know, he obviously lost that quickly to Splinter. I was always hoping that, you know, there was, at the time as a kid, you didn't think about like how the hell would they have Splinter fight because of the puppet and everything. Like you think about it now, I was like, I don't know how that would work. But I agree with the Mikey fans too, because like I always thought about the same thing with Mikey in the farm. When they show the fight montage in the farm, dude, he's blindfolded and he's kicking their ass, dude. He's fighting all 3 of them at once, dude, and they're all falling down. And I remember, I mean, again, nobody was thinking how big this movie was going to be, so there was not all this intention, I'm sure. But I remember as a Mikey fan being like, "That's what's up, dude. There you go."
Yeah, no, that's true. You see him, and I mean, the hardest thing you think would be for him to take out Raph's size with those nunchucks, but you know, but yeah, no, that's good. And just James Saito was at the panel at Terrificon. He was talking about it, and he's kind of a shy, reserved guy. You know, they were joking with him and all that. They're like, "Oh, he was in Devil's Advocate," you know, and kind of like talking about it. And they asked him a question, just like, "What was it like with the Shredder outfit?" And he's like, "It was mainly just like glittery linen that they were." He's like, "It was really lightweight and comfortable, you know, and like all the stuff, like all the metal and all that." He's like, you know, it wasn't even that heavy. So it's like I had like full freedom of movement. And I'm like, that's so refreshing to see that he could move like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and even when he slapped Splinter, I thought that part was awesome too. Just when he walked in, and great camera work there too. You just see he is fuming mad, and he goes right at Splinter. Yeah, just smacks him right across the face. We didn't get that in the cartoon. So again, I love this darker Shredder. And even when he scared the bejesus out of me as a kid too, when he's searching Danny with that claw. I thought he was gonna slice his head off when he first, does that claw to him for the picture.
It's a smart way to set it up too. Like when he throws that dagger the first time. I think you were talking about this, Lydie. Yeah. Like the dagger that he throws, find her, silence her.
Yep.
You know, that's that Dr. Claw moment from Inspector Gadget. You know?
Well, and then you're really scared for her.
Yeah.
Like, because you're talking about the foot soldiers kind of being a little goofy. Now you know he's going to send his best, and you are worried about her.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Eric, do you have any thoughts on the Shredder?
Well, I mean, he was definitely scary, and I keep thinking about the whole deleted scene where he took on like 4, where they put the little like bandana.
Where
And-
they had to take the bandana off of this. They showed in the theater. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And I'm just thinking, I'm like, this is a badass, you know what I'm saying? Like taking on 4 people at one time. And it was just kind of like an example, like I could take on 4 people, I could take on 4 turtles, So
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and he absolutely could. And
yeah.
I know Mike usually talks about the cartoon series, but I think of the Incredible Shrinking Turtles episode where he says, "I have beaten all 4 of you in clean combat." And that's what I think about. Like on the rooftop, he beat the crap out of all of them individually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, he beat them too.
Oh yeah, like they have bruises. So.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it was just. I'm sorry, but I like that. I like that iteration, and I'm hoping that when they come out with the last Ronin movie, let's see how that goes.
Let's hope that it's something with practical effects and that it's filmed like this first movie. That'd be amazing.
Justin, I want to ask you, how did you guys like Tatsu in this movie too? Because he's a new character. I thought he fit in really well in this role too. I like Tatsu a lot in this movie too.
He is
love.
an absolute necessity to this film to help it move along.
Agreed.
Without that character, the Shredder's not scary enough. Like when you see how badass Tatsu is, and then you see that he's afraid of the Shredder, and that Tatsu handles the day-to-day, it's like the art of war. There has to be some prestige to the general, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, and without that prestige, there's no mystique about it. And it's like, oh, Shredder's just a regular guy. He's eating a Whopper. Like, no. Danny eats the Whopper. He's over here watching his wall of televisions like The Matrix and all that. But yeah, Tatsu is no joke, and you wonder when he starts fighting Casey Jones, it's like, what's gonna do it for him, And in like another environment, Casey wouldn't have won.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna
agree with that 100%.
Was anybody else scared for him? Like if he fails, his end would not be pretty. So he is formidable, but I was always kind of like,
yeah.
It's interesting too because like and my daughter was just asking me about this. She's like, is he in the comics? I'm like, he was eventually in some of the comics, but really he was the stand-in for Karai. And I think in the comics, Karai hadn't really appeared yet at this point. Like she was, because this was just like City at War was probably like 91, I think. So we hadn't seen her yet. So like this was kind of like the proto for that. Maybe Lotus Blossom in the cartoon, but I don't know if that was after 1990 or something. So, but I mean, eventually Tatsu would give way and we'd have Karai and everything going forward.
That's a great point, dude.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for bringing it up because I wouldn't have thought it unless you said about Tatsu. So, does Tatsu have his own Toitles pin yet?
Dude, I worked on one with this one dude, and I just was like, me, like I was like, I need to feel like 120% when I put stuff out. Like if I have any doubt in it whatsoever, and the artist I work with did too. He was like, yeah, I don't know, man. So we've never gone back to the drawing board with it, but no, I don't believe we have any Tatsu pen though.
Yeah, I imagine it's tough because it's just like his sort of like iconic scowling face and mustache and all that. And it's like,
that's the thing. I think if I was to make one, we need to get more detail out of it. You really need to know it's him.
Yeah.
Would you make him out of pizza melting like some of the other ones?
I wouldn't say no because we did that with Kino, dude, and I sent that care package to Ernie. And he was very appreciative of it. But yeah, we just called it melting pizza boy or whatever, and it worked out. So
I feel like Kino deserves that. Sorry, I'm not a Kino fan.
That's interesting. We'll have to explore that next year. So I've got a curveball to throw at you. What is one thing that you would either change or remove about this film or add? So let me, Joey, let me start with you. What's one thing you would change about this? You could think about it if you want, but
I mean, if anybody else knows right off the bat, I would love to get a moment to think about this. That's a great question. But you say one thing that I'd want to change, and what was the other thing? I'm sorry.
either change, take out, remove,
Okay, or
or
take out,
maybe
that's right.
add something else. You know, like Eric, like you were saying about that scene with the shredder, like maybe you would have preferred to have that stay in, that scene where just kind of showing how formidable he was, where he's
Yeah.
fighting 3 at a time. So, which is essentially like almost scene for scene in the Last Ronin, where Oroko Hiroto is fighting like with like the sticks, and he's fighting like other people. That's like scene for scene. That it's just weird because that never showed before. So, you know,
I think
who's
going back
got
again,
an idea?
I think going back to just, I remember as a kid, I probably didn't think of it right in the moment. Like when the movie was over, I was like, this was like the most amazing thing I've ever seen, probably when I was 6 years old. But as time went on, I was like, man, I just wish that Shredder and Splinter could have fought. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, Splinter still would have won, but just instead of just Shredder being overtaken with like this rage and just making a stupid mistake and falling off a building and then oops, and then getting crushed, dude, from a garbage truck. Like I remember as time has gone on, I just got pissed off about it because I was like, he is one of my favorite villains of like all time, and the way they did him so dirty. But like I said, nobody knew how, one of the biggest independent films, I think, up until like Blair Witch or something like that. So it's like nobody knew.
Blair
You know what I mean? Like
Witch,
nobody knew. So like nobody was putting that thought into it. But that's why I love talking with all of you, because like we are such fans and we have such passion for it that we can like really like pick it apart and get really specific with it.
Yeah. No, that's cool. And I think that it's a near perfect film in terms of like everything. I think there's like little gripes that you have here and there. It's like, oh yeah, you can see the guy's hand when he's skateboarding. It's not in a turtle costume, and you can see Donatello when he laughs, and you can see Ernie inside, like stuff like that. Like there's some things, but I mean, you also have like the puppeteers and from Jim Henson. It's like what went into that scene where it was like a tiny gag with Donatello just spitting the water and all that. I'm like, these little touches that they have that make this movie like so incredibly real,
And the score, dude, like the music,
score,
like
yeah.
I shouldn't say I could. I do listen to that sometimes. Like if I'm working on stuff, it's like sometimes I'll put the movie in the background, but just even having the score by itself, dude, man, I will never. So dope.
I'm humming it every single day. I do it. And I do it when I'm at work. That's what I do.
Even when the credits roll, you still keep 9.95 in Turtle Power roll. I don't shut my at the time I didn't shut my VHS tape off. I'd stay through that part too because I love the music, just like you, Joe.
Oh, we stayed through the credits, man. We stayed through the credits. It was the first time my daughter had ever heard TURTLE Power, and she cracked up. She's like, "This is what people listened to in 1990?" I'm like, "Yes." And I said, "Don't check me for accuracy, but this was the biggest song in 1990 ever." Yes.
Yeah.
And the Sony Walkman, right? Like that we listened to Sony Walkman.
Oh God.
I don't even know where he got that thing.
Yeah. I
don't even know. What do you got?
It's funny because people talk about Danny a lot, and people are like, why doesn't he do cons? And I'm like, because people would probably be super rude to him, dude.
Yep.
I that's the problem, man. I think people would be assholes to him. And excuse my language. I think they'd be really rude to him, unfortunately, dude. And like, I was like, that's why I probably wouldn't do it. He's like the #1 hated character in that movie, dude. Like,
is he though? Because it's not his fault. Like
for me, it was at least.
It's him, Chief Stearns, or his dad that are the most, like, oh, you mean Charles? Well, I just saved you a walk. Yeah,
definitely. I had one thing that always bugged me, and it's so minor, but when Raph says he's going out to a movie and everybody doesn't blink an eye, they're just like, oh yeah, it's just Raph going to a movie. When did that start, and why was that okay that he just started going up to movies, and now it's just so difficult? I was like, how does that happen? Do the others go to movies? Do they go to ball games? Do they go see, I don't know, hockey? It made me ask so many questions, and we just accept it. Like, okay.
That's so different. Eric just dropped out somehow, but that's so different than in like Mutant Mayhem, where it's one of those things where it's like, oh, don't go. Oh, I'm so afraid of the humans and all that. So it's like this kind of set that precedent for it.
Well, and I thought it was interesting because right before that, right, Splinter's like telling them about being ninjas and we're not supposed to be seen. And sometimes I used to think, was that his version of children should be seen and not heard? But then Raph was like, catch you later, people. I'm going to a movie. And it's just totally normal.
Right. And they said that it was their first battle. And then Raph's like, well, I'm also going to fight somebody else 2 hours later.
Yeah. It's no biggie. It doesn't ruin it. But I always just go, when did that become a thing?
Yeah. So for me, it's really hard to remove anything because I think we all love this movie from start to finish. So the more time, the better. Changing, I guess, a couple things. There's a super fan, Jeff Court, who has a whole bunch of ridiculously awesome turtle movie props, and he showed me a picture of Michelangelo. When April's drawing all the pictures, you see Leonardo at the bathtub, Donatello, and he has a Mikey one. I would have loved to get a little bit more character development with that spot because then maybe they wouldn't have changed Mikey with Raphael yelling. We could, they show Mikey with the punching bag because, again, it's really cool to see Mikey get all that emotional investment in him. Changing, I mean, maybe, we've all seen the trailer a billion times, right? I thought it would have been cool if they could have added where that sewer cap pops off, if that could have found its way in the movie, and where they're popping out. Now, again, we get that in the second movie, The Secret of the Ooze, where they're all popping up one at a time after Super Shredder, but I always was curious about that spot. But again, like we say, it's not a near perfect film, but it's just every turtle got so much love in this movie too. I've never really hear anybody argue saying, I wish Donnie got more love, I wish Raph got more love. Everybody, like we were talking about earlier, has their moment. So
I'm fine with my Leo. I'm fine with it.
Yes. And, well, even him, like I was even going to say, I'm an older brother. I have a younger brother. And when he's sitting in there in that bathtub and that music plays, just being the older brother, it's like you feel that guilt and shame. It hits you. It's like, I let my anger get the best of me. I should have never told him to get the hell out of here. It's just, exactly. And just that resonates. So, yeah, that's just pretty much my points. But I want to do a backup on Joey. I would have liked to see a couple more fights. And the one thing I would have added, I don't know, like Joey actually made a great point in regards to how you can have Splinter fight, but when they jumped him, I would have loved to see like how you talk how the foot are kind of, not that smart, but can you just imagine seeing Splinter get ambushed? Like, how did they take him? Did he just give himself up? Did he, throw out a couple moves and then he realized there were just too many of them? Did Tatsu go down there and take out Splinter, which would have been awesome? And, we don't know what happened. So I guess it's cool having it in our imagination, but
that's a great
I would have loved some more detail on that.
No, I like that. That's a really good thing. Yeah.
Even like a panning back and forth between them all making jokes in the apartment. And then almost like how they do that with Raph getting his butt kicked on the roof and they're going back to like, the symbols and everything like that. If they would have done something similar while, Splinter's fighting the whole Foot Clan.
Yeah.
And I love that idea because there's no way he would have just sent a bunch of teenagers to get Splinter.
Yeah.
So I love that idea that Tatsu went. And I'm like, oof, you're right.
Well, the idea is he was expecting the turtles there, so they must have sent like a whole army.
Yeah.
Right. They didn't know the turtles wouldn't be there. They didn't even know. Yeah, totally. They thought they would still, all five of them would be there.
That's such a good point. Yeah.
I like it. I think that's great. I want to tell you, so I just watched it in Stink-ovision. So right before we got on, I watched it, Stink-ovision Blu-ray. And
this what Stink-ovision is? I've never heard of this. This is my first time hearing about Stink-ovision.
This is Stink-ovision has a scent menu. And with the scent menu, when different icons pop up, and this is 1 through 9, it pops up at various parts of the movie, and then you scratch the card and you actually sniff it for a different experience to take you through it. So I'll give you kind of an idea. So the first one is Sweet Sewer Home. This one pops up right after the first fight when the title card comes up, says Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It pops up on there.
Yeah.
And this one smells like wet dirt crust, mixed manure topping, and a hint of mildew.
Ew.
So we're talking about the Stink-ovision, Eric. So that's
Yeah,
the
sorry
first
about
one. So that pops up there. So they say anytime that you see like a sewer scene or something like that, scratch this one. But the little icon only comes up once. The second one is Margarita Pizza, which comes up as they're cutting up the pizza with the Turbo Ginsu, right? So this is classic rich tomato and stretchy mozzarella with an oregano twist. It's probably one of the better ones on the card. I'll tell you that much, because the sewer one, not so great. But
Gross.
there's worse. I'll keep going. Next one is Incensed Rat. So this is as Raphael is coming home for the night from the movie, and he's talking to Master Splinter. This is A Taste of Japan, sandalwood and cedar. It says vegan friendly. It's probably my favorite on here. Nice sandalwood and all that. The number 4 is the absolute worst in my opinion. Although number 9 did make my daughter gag. This is Radioactive Ooze. So this pops up when they're telling April the story, and there's like the little turtle scuttling by. This is mega loaded with retro mutagen drizzled with toxic green slime. Let me try to describe it. Oh, oof. Man, it's rough. I don't know how to describe it, but it's like a hint of urine. I don't know. Gross.
Sweet.
Next one's pretty interesting. Some of you might get into this. It's called Hippie Delight. Greenwich Village in the 80s, pungent, herbaceous, with earthy Mary Jane notes. I don't know if you can see what's on the little thing there. It's a 5-sided leaf. And as Bart Simpson would say, it smells like Otto's jacket. Now the next one was most of our favorites. It was Foot Clan Dojo. So this one pops up. So number 5 comes up as they're getting up from the sewer to go into the second time around for April's. That's what her neighborhood smells like. Next is Foot Clan Dojo, which is cherry bubblegum pop with a base of adolescent angst, and it's delightful. It's like cherry bubblegum and all that. And that's when this is what we do. It pops up like when that comes in the Foot Clan there. Number 7, Love Salve, saucy special, cool menthol served with camphor heat. You could imagine this is when Casey is starting to rub on April. It pops up just as Mikey comes in, right? And he goes, turtle wax, and that's when it pops up. And you're like, oh, okay, fun. So now this next one, Erica, like Splinter's Magic, wood-fired with an assortment of smoked treats and charred whiskers. So this one is the campfire when Splinter pops up. So that is probably the second best one on here, is that Splinter's Magic. The last one is Death by Trash, which pops up right after Casey hits the oops, and then the trash compactor comes down. Death by Trash, ultimate pizza rehash, nose-watering, lethal leftovers. That is the one that made my daughter gag. To me, it smells like rubber. So, Stink-ovision
punk
is
rock
available.
band, dude. Death by Trash.
Death by Trash sounds great. They play fast and loud, and their songs are 30 seconds each. So. But I thought this was interesting. You can find it on Amazon. It goes for, I want to say, like $29.99, something like that. You can check it out. But it was an interesting way to watch the movie, and it was really interactive. And I think for kids that would be fantastic. You would just have to get like a whole bunch of these cards made up or something, or just kind of pass it around. But it was fun. Like, we all watched it together, and we were sniffing. Oh, what's that? Oh, no, give me. I need to get number 6 because number 9's in my nose. So, but it was interesting. Eric, we were just talking about like the thing that you missed is we were postulating if Tatsu was sent to get Splinter, when they sent the foot, and that's how he got captured, and like we'll never know, right? We'd have to ask Bobby Herbeck, right?
Oh yeah.
Exciting stuff to talk about this movie and all that. Does anybody have any thoughts on the 35th anniversary of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? We talked for a full hour on this. It's amazing.
We could probably go another 5 hours easy with all of us being super.
We probably could.
without it feeling like it's been 5 hours. I just want to say I thought it was great seeing all those trailers. As kids, we never got to see that cool little comic preview, the video game Tactical Takedown, which is a really fun game to play. And it was, for those, us super fans have seen the deleted scene on YouTube before. I thought that was cool for casuals who may have never seen the far-fetched spot where, where they're talking about making the Turtles a comic book.
On the big screen, too.
Yeah, exactly. And it was in English, too, instead of the German, which is usually what we have to listen to for that extra. And the thing I thought was great was getting a little bonus with the dailies and seeing Casey Jones in his apartment watching, bad TV, because if anybody bought the 25th special on Blu-ray, that was a phenomenal collection. You got a comic, you got cards, you got a really cool beanie, and you get Eastman and Laird's adaptation of the movie in comic form. And I always read that, and I was like, this isn't the movie. What is this Casey Jones spot? So to actually see it on the big screen and know that it was supposed to be a part of the movie, I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, it's a good point about the Casey Jones and all that, because it gives us a little bit more of who he is. Like, we know who he is as a character just because he's one of the ones that's going to say things, but knowing who he was before and like where he came from, the whole idea Kevin said is that he just watched a lot of bad TV, you know, and you get that in the comics. You don't get that so much in the movie, so that's a good deleted scene. Yeah. Anybody have a favorite track from the soundtrack besides TURTLE Power?
Well, that one I have a quick eye and a bump on is, did anybody else have any arguments with that? Because my cousin kept trying to mic drop me that Raphael is the leader of the group. There's always that one kid who, just because of that song, they thought that was, gospel, pretty much. So that's the one thing
if I had a nickel, I'd be a rich man. Yeah, I fought that good fight. So, that's crazy. That's nuts. But yeah, I mean, this is a lot of fun getting to talk about this. Obviously, we're all big fans. We'll have to come back and do it next year after we see The Secret of the Ooze when that comes out. I do want to just shout out to Isaac Elliott Fisher, who was present on the screen talking about the definitive Ninja Turtles documentary, the sequel, Turtle Power 2, that'll be coming out later. I know I supported that Kickstarter as soon as I saw it. It's crazy. You know, he's been on the show, huge Dark Crystal fan. That's why we hit it off. You know, but it's pretty cool to see him up there talking about this and just getting the word out about that documentary. It's going to be amazing. So yeah. Otherwise, folks, where can everybody follow you? Why don't we start with you, Mike?
Yeah, sure. If you guys want, we have our own podcast too, where we deep dive into a whole bunch of Ninja Turtle goodness. As Justin knows, we're a big gamer too on Twitch. We actually speedran the Nintendo original one in less than 30 minutes. We've upped up our game a lot. That took me.
I need to watch that, dude. That's awesome.
That took me. Thank you very much. That took me years to finally do, and just to beat that game without the Game Genie was like one of the greatest achievements of my life. But yeah, if you guys ever want to hang out on Instagram or Twitch, we have a Discord as well, Shellanomics. We'd love to have you guys.
Excellent. How about you, Lydie?
I can be found at the Channel 6 Chick on Instagram as well as TikTok. And that's pretty much it. That's where my nerdy stuff is contained.
And also when you host the Epic Ladies from the Sewers.
Yes.
Hopefully we'll get some more of those this year. So, yeah. And Joey, where can we find you?
Yeah, so definitely the number one spot would be Instagram. It's at Ninja Toitles, TOITLES. TikTok, YouTube, but definitely Instagram. And then my online store is ninjatoitles.com. I share this all the time. I have had the honor for about 5 or 6 years now, partnering with amazing turtle fan artists from literally all over the world. And we have collaborated on some pretty dope enamel pins and soft enamel pins. So definitely check out the site. If you guys are looking for anything, just hit me up for sure.
Yeah, I have one pretty close. I can't get to it right now, but the Intergalactic Wrestling Turtles is like my number one favorite. And Joey got me the pin, and I cherish this friggin' thing.
I appreciate that, dude.
So it's so great. Eric, I know we could find you as what, TMNT Dad on Instagram?
Yep, that's it. That and Facebook. That's about all you can get. Contact me at.
And I want to thank everybody for being on the show. The pizza recipe that we'll do is some penicillin on your pizza. And we'll be back for all the listeners, all the YouTube watchers. You can check us out next time. Thanks for watching Epic Tales from the Sewers. Have a good night.